Hey, welcome back traders. Continuing the 2024 backtesting series, we're nearing the end, only a couple more weeks left. But before we get started, I want to pull up the spreadsheet here. I did compile the data for November. And as you can see, in November, it was not a good month, only a 38% winning rate. And also we finished red on the month. Now there was one really good trade, but even then, that was the only winning trade. Everything else was either red or break even. But there you go. That is the data for November. Now for this time around, we will be back testing the week of the 16th through the 20th. This is the week before Christmas. And yeah, if taking a look at the daily chart, this is set on December 13th. So we were originally coming back down. I thought we were maybe going into this weekly volume imbalance with all the sell side down here, but we did run away from it, going above all this down move here. So let's focus in on just here. Last week we made a new all-time high and we went into our projection target here. Remember, this projection was from this swing low to this swing high, and this projection was from this swing low to this swing high. So now that we're all at all-time highs, I'm not sure if these projections are actually going to help since we've already kind of hit our target. So what I'm going to do is remove them, and I may do projections on a lower time frame. There's still no reason to be bearish, still going to have a bullish bias. If we look at the daily chart, there's no inefficiencies here. So if we do go down for sell side, the first level of sell side I see is the swing low with this untouched daily BISI. So if we do go to the downside, we could go here, probably a short term, a lower time frame sell side down here. And of course, all-time highs, that is what we could be looking for once again. All right, so Monday now, December the 18th, and over the weekend, we had a huge gap up. This is a big new week opening gap going from 760 to 2250, so about a 300-point gap here. So coming into this week, I'm thinking that, okay, yeah, sure, we could go higher, but I'm actually looking for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, sometime in the middle of the week, we're going to retrace back into this volume imbalance. So even though I have sell side down here, I'm not really looking at that initially. I think we could come back into this volume imbalance, this new week opening gap. Now going down to a 15-minute time frame, I do see relative equal lows here, so let me go ahead and mark that out. It's going to be a sell side target. I mean, we could do it here today on Monday as well, but we're definitely going to need to see some displacement to the downside on a shorter time frame. Now jumping into the 5-minute, we had these relative equal lows, and of course the volume balance. I'm really expecting price to go back into that. So we are at all-time highs, and I said there's no reason to be bearish, but we can expect a retracement, right? We can expect price to come back into the volume balance. And that's kind of my idea that I'm going to be looking for. There's no there's no, what I'm trying to say, there's no buy side targets to say. I mean, we could try to do a projection. The last time we had a sell side sweep was this. So we could project from here to here. And we have negative 1.5 and negative 2. We could be aiming for that from the 1 hour projection here, these two lines. So we'll keep that in mind, but really my idea is going short, going for the sell side, going for this volume imbalance, this new week opening gap. All right, guys, I jumped way ahead. It's actually 12:15. I'll just kind of run you through the morning action. There wasn't really anything that I saw that I wanted to take. So right here at 9:30, we started rallying up. I thought this could be a fake move where we get the buy side and then we're going to start heading down for the sell side for this volume imbalance. But we didn't do that. We did come back down a little bit, but we kept just slowly making new highs. And then, yeah, we finished off the day pretty much at a new high of day, working our way towards that projection, the -2 standard deviation projection from the 1 hour chart. We already did dig through the negative 1.5. But even on the long side, I didn't see really any setup for me. I mean, you know, I don't really want to be chasing price. I mean, I don't know if you consider it chasing, but what I mean is we are making highs, you know, higher highs, and there's no clear targets really. There are these projection targets, but nothing too concrete. So that's why I'm saying, like, I don't really have any clear targets to the upside. I'm not interested in looking for longs, so I'm not looking for longs. I'm just waiting for the market to turn back down for the sell side. It's going to turn down eventually, but like I said, probably Monday we're going to have a move up. That's going to be like the manipulation move on a power of 3 if you're looking at the weekly candle. So I'm thinking Tuesday we may start getting a move down for the sell side, and well, let's check out the rest of the day's action. I hope it doesn't like go in the PM session to go for the sell side. And nope, we just consolidated up in the highs. We went to that -2 standard deviation projection, and I think this is looking pretty good. So just still waiting for price to turn back down to the downside. So let's go ahead and go into the next day, and we'll see if we start getting a setup or not. So pretty much that's my idea, is to come back down for this new week opening gap. And you can see we're kind of starting to do that. We have some consolidation once we reach the -2 standard deviation projection. Remember, that was a projection using this swing low and this swing high on the 1 hour chart. So going into this morning, we do have buy side above these highs. Technically, I mean, I guess you can move it up there, but I'm going to go ahead and just move it there for now. I guess I'll put 2 lines. And the sell side, I guess we do have relative equal lows here as well. But let's go down to 15 minutes so you can see a little bit clearer. Here you can see the relative equal highs and the relative equal lows here. It looked like it did poke down through it just by a little bit, but I'm not really seeing any inefficiencies here. I forgot to note on the 1 hour if we have any inefficiencies. I guess we do have one right here. We could just draw it out real quick. So here you can see we have a 1 hour fair value gap. We've already kind of tapped into it already though. So I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this and go down to the next 1 hour fair value gap. Also very small. I mean, like maybe if I stretch it out, still kind of small, you know what I mean, compared to like this huge new week opening gap, right? Like even though we have these small 1 hour fair value gaps, I'm not expecting price to just stop there. I want to, if we start going down, I think I want to see price go all the way back to this new week opening gap. So go now to the 5 minute. Let's just take a look real quick. I'm not seeing much. So we did sweep a little bit underneath the swing low. We could go for these relative equal highs. I guess I would like to see that before turning down to the downside, but we don't need to. We could just be leaving it in for future. And we are trading into this fair value gap. We also have this fair value gap and this order block, right? So I guess I kind of don't really want to see price go above this high, because if it does, then that's telling me that the bearish PD rates are not being respected. We could just be using these to push price lower. So let's go ahead and just start walking through. If we start getting displacement to the downside, maybe I will want to go ahead and just jump right in, because well, I don't think we could go much higher than this if we are going to start going down. And there's not really that many inefficiencies, so we could start plummeting. Now we do get a sweep of the sell side here at 8:30, so I still wouldn't mind seeing us take out those relative equal highs. So I'm just waiting here, and it looks very choppy. I'm just gonna go ahead and walk it through and let you guys know when I see something worth talking about. All right, guys, so at 9:30, so we did sweep above this high right here, and originally I said I didn't want to see that, but it's okay because we do have some displacement to the downside. I want to see if we can get some retracement, and then if we do, I am willing to enter. Perhaps I'll enter in one and then add to it. I see a potential fair value gap here. I do like this because it does match up with that 1 hour fair value gap, and then we also have this one up here. So I think if you try to take a short, your risk has to be all the way up here. And the earliest you could take it is down here at 311. So you will have about 50 points of risk. I will go ahead and take it with one contract, but I'm actually going to move it a little bit higher. I'm going to move it to close to the low of this fair value gap. So we'll just keep, so we'll say 319. That sounds about right to me. So 319 to 360, that's going to be about 40 points of risk. I'm going to go in with one contract and just see if we can get hit, as long as we have that fair value gap remain intact. Okay, so I guess it did. And okay, so we'll go ahead and move it up here to 318.25 because it is the low of that fair value gap. And then we'll say we got stopped out here for one contract. Kind of unfortunate, but okay, just remember this is the November, here's the January, or here's the December data, 17th, and went ahead, took one contract here short, entered in at 22,318.25 and 22,360.75, which was 0.67% of my balance. And yeah, let's go ahead and see if we can get another opportunity here. All right, guys, so I'm thinking about giving this one a chance. You know, with this rally back up, it didn't quite take out that high. And then we did trade down below this big up move. And as you can see, we have a fair value gap here. Let me go ahead and zoom in if you see this a little bit better. It's a little hard to see, but I'll highlight it. We have a 5-minute CIVI right here. You can see the next two candles went into it, only the wicks, no bodies. And then we start displacing once again. And then down here, we do have another fair value gap, very small, but I think I will go ahead and try and take this because we do have a lot of movement to the downside. I'm going to have my risk all the way up here, right below that 1 hour fair value gap. And I'll have my entry over here at the low of this small fair value gap. So let's go ahead and zoom out real quick. If I do get entered here, I'm going to go up to the 1 hour here. Where could I be looking for my target? Well, we do have this fair value gap here, but really I have my eyes on these relative equal lows and of course the new week opening gap, this big volume imbalance down or void, I guess. So a lot of movement still. I'm going to go ahead and take a shot here. And then once it goes into this 1 hour fair value gap, I'll aggressively move my stop to break even. And then we'll go from there. Hopefully we can see a move push down even lower. So I'm actually looking at this now. The risk is quite wide. It's going to be about 50 points of risk, which is going to be a lot. I'm going to go actually move the risk down to the high of this order block. And with that, let's go ahead and see how much that would be actually. So if I go ahead and take another short here, let's see at 22,267 and at 22,308. That's actually going to be 0.66% risk, which is more than 0.5%, more than a little bit more than I want. But since I didn't go before 1% on the first one, I'll say this is okay. That way we still kind of even out a little bit. But yeah, let's go ahead and see whether or not this works out. We could just get a big move up and then it totally just stops me out right away. So. But yeah, this is a little bit of what I was afraid of. We could be heading out for these relative equal highs. Maybe I should have waited a little bit more for like a larger fair value gap. But let's see what happens here. Okay, so again, they get stopped out. So 2 strikes. I may just be done for today. But I'll still keep an eye out this morning to see what exactly happens. And then, yeah, I'll let you guys know if there's one more opportunity. I probably shouldn't take a third trade, but okay, so we are rallying up. If we get above this high, we have to change this day of delivery. So all this right here could have been a fake out, and we could be going up for these relative equal highs. I may consider taking one more. We do get a rally above this 1 hour fair value gap again, creating a 5-minute fair value gap. But I'm not going to take this. If I see confirmation, I'll go for a confirmation long for those relative equal highs. So here, I want to see one more fair value. I kind of like how we hit the middle of that 1 hour BISI. See, kind of hitting the middle of it. So if we get a fair value gap here, I'll go for a long, I guess, and we'll try just one contract. Whoops. Did not mean to do that. Okay, here we go. So I just want to change the color here for a long entry here, and we'll go for the stop down here. I like how it also lines up with the low of the order block. If you look at this down candle, it's below that as well. So we'll go ahead, try this for one contract. It is 23 points of risk. We'll see if we can get in, and I may just do a hard cutoff at 12.15. Okay, here we go. And did we already get stopped out? I guess we did. I guess we did. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead. It looks like we're just gonna settle here around equilibrium. So a little unfortunate. I guess I should have known. It already took out the relative highs here. So I probably should not have entered into this one. Guess I got a little bit, hungry for a win. But yeah, let's go ahead and just mark this in. Okay, probably should have been a little bit more patient here. All right, so here we go. You can see we took 3 losses. You had this up. It's going to be a little bit over 1.5, which is typically my daily risk. So I did break a rule. I did go over a little bit. Not too bad, but still, not good to break your rules. The rules are there for a reason. I'll keep that in mind as we go into the next day. Really going to force myself to not take more than 2 losses for the rest of this week. And here's the action for the end of the day. Not very good. You can see very choppy here. We did kind of go down and then we finished off in the middle of the range, but you can see all the wicks going up and down. It's very choppy here. After we took out the highs of here, it didn't really give us much. We did go into this civvy and then started grinding down, but of course, like I said, choppy action, you don't really want to be in this. But yeah, let's go ahead and go to Wednesday morning. All right, so December 18th, Wednesday morning. I'm still got my eye on these relative equal lows, but more so this new week opening gap. Now, yesterday overnight, we did come back down for this 1 hour fair value gap. You can see that we did bounce off of it. So this has already been tapped into. I have the sell side on the low right here below this 1 hour fair value gap. Buy side, we do have relative equal highs here, but we do have yesterday's swing high right here that we did poke above. So I will mark this out with a dotted line to remember that we did go above it. So that could be enough for a buy side sweep. Now, if we start seeing displacement to the downside, I would want to take shorts. We do have relative equal highs up here too, so we could go for that before we start going down. But the idea for me is going back into that new week opening gap. If you kind of look at this, you could kind of see like a market maker buy model a little bit. So I think it's a little bit unclear. I'm going to wait till 8:30 and 9:30, see what kind of displacement we get. All right, so just before 9:30, we did take out some sell side below these relative equal lows and this sell side on the swing low as well. So from 8:30, well, I guess from 7 o'clock really up to 9:30, we've went down after taking out this buy side sweep. We went down, took out the sell side. Now, I'm not going to go ahead and go in right away. I do want to see a little bit of retracement and then start seeing more displacement to the downside. So if you look at the 15-minute, you can see we do have pretty big displacement here. I don't think we're going to come back above this high. We could, but don't really think so. But I would like to see us either go back into this 15-minute fair value gap or the higher one. I'm going to highlight this higher one actually. And then from here, that's what I want to see a setup on the 5-minute. So I'll go ahead and mark both of these, but I'm thinking the higher one may be better, but we could just go into the lower 15-minute fair value gap and then start displacing lower on the 5-minute. So really, I want to see 9:30 give us a bump up into one of these fair value gaps, and then I want to start seeing civvies to the downside. Okay, so we did not go there, but we do start displacing much lower at 9:30. Hopefully we don't take this out. If we do retrace into here, I'll be looking to take a short. But even if we do take the sell side, I think it'll be okay because I'm really looking for price to go into that new week opening gap. Now, here's another thing, right? Because we did not really get a confirmation, right? We took the buy side, we took the sell side pre-market. I want to see confirmation here. If I don't see a confirmation for a gap, I'm not really wanting to take it because we could still go back above this high to go for one of these 15-minute fair value gaps. So just want to be patient here. It does look like we're going to go for the fair value gaps here. Okay, so we hit that lower fair value gap. If we start displacing lower now, perhaps I'll take the very first one because we also have relative equal lows. Remember, that was one swing low all the way back down from before, and then we create another swing low here. So We have sell side liquidity built into the downside. I will take the very first fair value gap to the downside, the very first SIBI here. And kind of looks like we may be getting it off of this first fair value gap. You can see we're just building, consolidating in the lower half. But could very well go up into the second one, and it does. And now from here, I don't really want to see it go much higher. I want to see displacement to the downside. And we are going into a 5-minute BISI, so we're going to get another rise up. Okay, good. We're starting to see displacement to the downside. This is exactly what I wanted to see. This is what I was anticipating. I'll go ahead and take a trade here with my risk at the high of this fair value gap. Now, remember, this fair value gap is not done forming quite yet. This candle is still forming. So this entry could change. I will put it at the low of fair value gap, but currently right now, I'm looking at about a 43-point risk. So 43 points, I think that's only going to be one contract. But let's see what this fair value gap closes in on, and I will enter short. I'll try to get close to 1%. Now, I do like the displacement lower and it's coming into here, but I'm not thinking that the risk is going to be worth it if I enter on this lower one, right? Because this is going to be 269 to 3. I mean, that's like nearly 70 points of risk. Now, one thing I could do is go in the middle. So for the midpoint, let me just move this back there. And then here, I could go in the middle. So this would be, let me see the price on the right side, 281, so that's gonna be 60 points of risk. I could go for this one. I'm gonna go ahead and just keep my entry up on this fair value gap. I think it could go back up there. If it doesn't and we start displacing lower, I'll look for another entry, but I'm gonna go ahead and just keep my risk where it's at, keep my entry where it's at, I mean. And okay, so we enter here one contract. And I'm looking for price to come below this low. That's where I'm going to be targeting for today. Only got about 45 minutes left. Okay, it's going up. I'm not really liking how it's consolidating up here. Could get stopped out, guys, but just waiting to see if this lower fair value gap holds and we drop lower. And here we go at 12:16. My time window is over. So I have the option here to pretty much get out, break even, or to hold it. I'm going to give it like maybe 10 more minutes, and let's see after 10 minutes what happens here. Okay, that is not looking good. I'm going to give it another 10 minutes. I think, yeah, I'll give it another 10 minutes, and it will decide. All right, so it did go down below this low and we create this fair value gap here. I'm going to give it 10 more minutes and then I'm going to call it pretty much. All right, so I'm going to call it here. I think this is actually looking pretty good. With this fair value gap holding, it looks like we could go lower. You know, if this wasn't over the lunch period, if this was like much earlier, I would not have an issue moving my stop to, let's say, like up here or maybe even above this swing high and then holding it to see if it goes down lower. But I'm going to just go ahead and call it here. Pretty much take a small win. Not really liking it. So let's go ahead and mark it in on the 18th. So you can see it was a 0.2, almost a 0.25 R. Yeah. Let's go ahead and take a look at the end of the day, see what exactly happened. I'm anticipating that it's going to go down, but who knows, right? So I did cut it off very early. As you can see, starting here at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Now, it took a long time. If we go ahead and zoom in here, let me zoom in all the way here. Okay, hold on one second, guys. It's kind of hard. I'm trying to. So here is what it looks like before 2 o'clock. I went ahead and just cut it off right here. But let's see, if we go forward a little bit, you can see that it did go a little bit above my entry and then pretty much just nosedive at 2 o'clock, went for that sell side. Would have made it out with a really nice trade. I don't know if there was some news, maybe FOMC that this day, but it didn't really get close to my stop. So as long as I didn't move it, I was like pretty good today. And then with a huge drop here, we went through that second level of sell side, went back into the new week opening gap like I was expecting. Unfortunately, everything happened in the afternoon, so I didn't really get an opportunity because that's outside my time window. And then we just kept dropping down lower and lower, and look at all the sell side that we've taken. And we went back into this green. I actually forgot what that was. I think that was a daily fair value gap that I was looking at. So yeah, I was looking at a daily fair value gap. And with this huge drop, I am definitely changing the bias to bearish. There's no, I think this is it. That is the top. So we could retrace back into, like, say, this new week opening gap. But other than that, I don't think we're going to be going above it. I don't think we're going to be going for a new all-time high. I think this is pretty much it with this huge drop here, going through multiple sell side. Yeah. Now I'm going to think that we could come back into this new week opening gap. And you know what? Let's just go ahead and take a look at Thursday morning. I think that it'd be better to just do the analysis Thursday morning. So here I'm at on the 1 hour. So I think we could come back into this new week opening gap. I'm still bearish, so waiting for displacement lower, and I will remove this here. Go up to a 4 hour and take a look at what we can be looking for. We have this swing low. That would be a sell side target. These lows down here would be nice, kind of like a consolidation. And this swing low looks nice as well. So yeah, these are going to be the sell side targets. I could even like maybe aim for this one, or actually these relative equal lows look pretty good too with that fair value gap on the left of it. So these would be my sell side targets. And let's go into a 1 hour. Now here's the thing, right? Even though I'm looking for price to drop down lower, we don't have to drop right away. We could have some retracement back into this new week opening gap, but the thing is, I'm not looking for longs. The higher time frame is obviously bearish, so I'm only looking for shorts. That's going to give me the highest chance of actually making profit. So even though we are going to higher, I'm not wanting to take a long because who knows where we can turn at. Now, in this new week opening gap, I do see a 15-minute fair value gap here, here, and here. It could be any one of those. I'm just going to wait. I want to see price draw up into the new week opening gap, and then I want to see displacement, and I'll just go ahead and take whatever short setup I can see. All right, so looking at the 1 hour, technically right here, we did go up into this fair value gap, and you can see this line right here. We actually went ahead and hit this previous low. So, okay, we didn't go back to the new week opening gap. We didn't go back to this volume balance, but we did hit this old low here. So that could be enough. We're starting to displace. Going down to a 15-minute, you can see that it's still pretty choppy. No fair value gaps here, but you can see we did sweep, and then it does kind of look like we're going down lower. Now, for the sell side target, we do have these relative equal lows on the short term. Hopefully, we don't hit that before we get our setup. And we do sweep this high and then start to have displacement lower. But as you can see, a lot of wicks, no fair value gaps. This is the first BISI, and then immediately we created a SIBI here, and then we created another SIBI. So we are displacing lower. I think we can aim for these relative equal lows. It's just I'm not exactly sure where I will have my risk here if I try to take this fair value gap. But you know, that's going to be like over 100 points of risk. So I'm just going to keep waiting here. Maybe we can get up to here and create a confirmation fair value gap. Okay, so we are starting to go through the first fair value gap, and we did tap into the second one. Now, I guess I could have tried to enter here, right? It's a little late. I can't, go back and say, hey, I want to enter there. I should have said that from the beginning. This would have been 50 points of risk, but I'm going to wait. Hopefully we can create a confirmation fair value gap, and I can go ahead and base my risk off of the next one, as long as it doesn't run away from me. So it is starting to run away, unfortunately. So this would have been a good try. It is kind of in a balanced price range with a BISI to the left of it. And did we create a fair value gap here yet? I guess technically we did, but this candle is waiting to be formed. So I'm going to go ahead and put an entry here just to see, as long as this fair value gap remains intact, right? Because remember, this right here is a little bit up. It's a very small one, right? The fair value gap is only like 3 ticks away, but having my risk up here, and we'll have the entry here for now, and we'll see if we could get wicked in with just one contract. It's still quite a large range, but I think we're going to be very weak today. So I did get in with one contract, and if we go down below here, I will be moving my stop to break even. Will I take it off right away? I guess I could. I mean, we did wick down here. I guess I could, yeah. I'll look to take it off here. And if I do take it off, that looks like it's going to be about 101. Maybe I'll just move it to break. Okay, so didn't quite work out. I guess even though there was a fair value gap here, it was not large enough. I was willing to just take it off down here at 101, but alas, we got stopped out, and yeah, that is not a good feeling, guys. I was really hopeful, but yes, sometimes that just happens, man. So now I'm just gonna have to be patient and just gonna keep waiting now. I think we may not do anything else for today because my time window is getting close to ending here. See, we went up into this fair value gap, and it looks like we started having displacement. So I was counting this as a confirmation fair value gap, even though it was really, really small. We did sweep the sell side, but I was looking at these relative equal lows. So I don't really think I did anything wrong here. It just didn't work out the way I thought it would. I even tried to take the partial at these relative equal lows and not get too greedy. But it looks like it's just bouncing back and maybe consolidating around equilibrium. So here was the high of the day or the morning, low of the morning, and we went back, consolidated equilibrium, and it's coming back down here. Let's take a look at what the rest of the day looks like. And yeah, so we did go for these relative equal lows, but that only happened in the afternoon. Even during lunchtime, we came back and got real close to it, so we created a triple bottom. Then we had this one move up. I don't know, very manipulative today. You know, I really thought like with this move down here, one of these fair value gaps should have hold for these relative equal lows, but it just came up, and if everybody had their stop here, it would have stopped everybody out before coming back down for these relative equal lows. Even down over here, we came really close. People will probably want to jam their stop to this swing high. Probably would have gotten stopped out once again before actually going for the sell side. Anyways, let's go. We have one more day, September 20th. Let's go ahead and take a look at Friday on the 1 hour. See if we have any opportunities here. We went for the sell side yesterday, went back down below this daily BISI, went for this sell side, and we still have another one down here. Zooming out to the 4 hour, you can see that it's going to be these flat lows here, but really the bigger sell side is this one. So I'm going to make this a little bit thicker. That's pretty much going to be the target that I look for today. If we take a look at this week, we started off here on Monday, we went up a little bit and then had big displacement, came back up, and then we are coming back down on Thursday as well. So even though we could keep going for the sell side, the buy side target is, the sell side target is the higher time frame bias. If we take a project or a measurement from the high to the low, or let me do the opposite actually, because I want to look at like a 20% to 30% retracement. And we'll get 20 to 30% will be between the red and orange lines here. So we could be retracing back into this here on like a Friday for like a TGIF setup. So marking out the buy side above this swing high. And then of course the sell side is all the way down there. Going down to a 15-minute. guess I'm not seeing too much. There's a inefficiency here right below this daily fair value gap. So not sure what to expect. Gonna wait to 8:30. I'm still gonna be bearish, but I can understand that we've had a lot of down move this week, so we could be looking for some retracement back to about 30 to 20%. So 8:30, we do get a little bit of displacement to the upside. And if we get this before 9:30, let's see if that happens. Okay, so it's consolidated. It looks like it's wanting to do a big move up for the buy side at 9:30. And then after that, I will be looking for any kind of reversals to the downside. Okay, so 9:30, it's not doing much right on the dot, but here we go. We get that rally up. Now I want to see SIBIs. I want to see movement to the downside. We traded below the 9:30 open. We got one more push up above the swing high. I want to see a reversal from here. If we can get a market structure shift, that would be nice. We're continually going up. This is that TGIF reversal or the TGIF retracement that I was talking about earlier. So if you wanted to take it, you could try for this right here, but obviously you would get stopped out. And there was a secondary fair value gap right here. You could have tried, but I think the risk to reward wasn't that great. Let's go ahead and zoom out to the 1 hour here. Now, if we're going up higher, we do have the buy side above here, and this will bring us back to that new week opening gap. So that is another idea. So buy side up here, sell side down here, and we're right in the middle. So it's a little hard to tell which way we're gonna go. Just when it's really hard to tell, as always, you want to wait, let price show you what it's wanting to do. Right now it's going up, but if we retrace and we get confirmation, we can go ahead and take longs. Now, we do have another fair value gap here after a little bit of consolidation, but we'd never retrace back into it. But I wouldn't even really want to take that because, I want to see more of like a confirmation of this inefficiency here. But we went ahead, took out the buy side, went back into the new week opening gap. So I guess that was the idea today. It was going to be really hard to get in. You need a different model besides any kind of retracement because it was pretty strong from the open. We had a little bit of manipulation here, but then after that was pretty strong to the upside. Now, unfortunately, I'm not going to be here in the afternoon, but in the afternoon, I will want to see price create a short setup looking for the sell side down here. It could go into that new week opening gap some more, but let's take a look at the end of the day. I want to see price go down lower. Okay, so it didn't dig up into it, but there wasn't really any good bearish setup either. We kind of went down lower back into the middle here, but it's pretty much very choppy. It's kind of sideways action. So unfortunately, didn't really get too much this week. Took a bunch of losses. And then going into next week, it is going to be Christmas. So not expecting a lot of movement going into next week, but let's just go and take a look at the daily chart before closing out this video. So you can see big displacement to the downside. We did retrace up into it, and then looks like we're just kind of consolidating here a little bit. But I think going into next week, I'm going to favor the downside. I want to favor the sell side targets below these lows. Perhaps going back into this weekly volume imbalance, right? Like these sell side target and this weekly volume imbalance, that's going to be prime targets going into the end of the year. But anyways, that's going to do it for this time, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. We were very, very close to the end of 2024. Had actually a pretty good good trading like in the springtime. I think even during the summer, it was not that bad. But going into the fall and into the winter time, it hasn't been that great, but still we are positive for the year. I'll show you guys my results once we are done with this back testing. We have one more week to go and then just a couple more days and I'll show you guys the results. But until I catch you guys next time, safe trading.